Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we have something pretty interesting. So I think it was yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, Russell Westbrook officially requested a trade from the Los Angeles Lakers. I think we were all kind of anticipating that. I anticipate 100,000% Russell Westbrook will not be a Laker at the start of this upcoming season. Now, apparently, a couple of weeks ago, what was it, right before the lottery, Sean Marks, basically the Lakers and Nets GMs met together for dinner or something like that, and there was kind of some speculation going on in the last few weeks that possibly they were discussing trade scenarios regarding Russell Westbrook or Kyrie Irving. And then yesterday or today, we heard that Russell Westbrook would be open to a trade with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, it's interesting. A couple of the other teams that he's interested in are like the Heat, Bucks, and Nets. I think that might be like the top three. I don't think Russell Westbrook on the Nets would be like the kind of like the, can't think of the wording, but like that wouldn't solve all of the Nets issues whatsoever. But here's the thing. Russ doesn't want to be on the Lakers. The Nets don't want to pay Kyrie. I don't know how long the Nets are going to work. To me, it's kind of like you're just like putting a new Band-Aid on an already open wound. Like the Nets aren't going to just get magically better just with Russell Westbrook. They still have to fill out the holes in the rest of their roster. The same thing applies for the Lakers. But I think if the Lakers get Kyrie Irving, I think Kyrie, LeBron, AD is worlds better than Russell Westbrook, Ben Simmons, and Kevin Durant. Russ and KD reunion sounds really interesting. Sounds very interesting. We've seen them win together. KD, honestly, kind of seems like at this point, KD's the only guy that Russ has really, gotten to the finals with. That was kind of the, obviously the hope with LeBron James and Russ joining up together. Kyrie and LeBron have won a championship before. They've been to the finals. I think that would be crazy. For the Lakers, you're going to have to sign more guys like Malik Monk, not guys like Trent Bazemore, Trevor Ariza, Kent Bazemore. Trent Bazemore, DeAndre Jordan, Wayne Ellington, Avery Bradley, like list goes on. Maybe two of those players, a guy like Avery Bradley or a guy like Wayne Ellington, but definitely not, 35-year-old Trevor Ariza. It's the same thing with the Brooklyn Nets. Like, can you win with Russ and Ben Simmons? Probably not. Probably not. Those are two players that want the ball in their hands all the time. Kevin Durant needs the ball in his hands as well. So I think Brooklyn, you're going to improve if you fill out the rest of your roster, regardless how this offseason goes. If you have Kyrie or if you have Russ, you need to improve. They're going to improve as long as you have some type of big three there and you fill out the roster. So it's contingent on some things. But if it makes sense, it's the same thing with the Lakers as it is with the Nets. Like 2 years ago, we had kind of this arms race with the Lakers and the Nets, and it was funny because the Suns and the Bucks, like Lakers Nets wasn't even the NBA Finals, but you had the Lakers get Drummond. They went out, they got all these old heads. Nets copy them. They go out, they get Paul Millsap, LaMarcus Aldridge. Patty Mills was a good pickup, but outside of Patty Mills, Bruce Brown, and Claxton, who it seems like they're about to lose, like their role players aren't great. Drummond and Seth Curry come in there in a trade. That was huge for him. That was absolutely huge for him. I bet Drummond leaves, though, so that's an issue. But it sounds really interesting to just pair Russ and KD back together. But I'm trying to make it fit in my head. Like, number one, I'm starting to have this issue with Ben Simmons as just being, like, a loser. Is he a winner? I mean, this guy didn't play all season for reasons we don't really understand. He's had a really impressive career to this date. He's a great defensive player. He's a good offensive player. He's a good facilitator, playmaker. He can't shoot, which sucks, but you got to really be questioning his mentality at this point. But I'm thinking Russ and Ben Simmons together, we'll see how that works. I hope they'd be able to figure out a way. I think it's worth the risk. If you're not trying to pay Kyrie Irving because you think he is too inconsistent, unreliable. You just don't know what you're going to get with Kyrie. You know what you're going to get with Russ. You know you're going to get a guy who's going to play as hard as he can, and he's already got that connection with KD. It's definitely like, long term, the Nets are going to blow up 100% in my opinion, but this would, I think, at least prolong it an extra season. At least an extra season. Next year, they'd at least try and figure something out. On the Lakers standpoint, like I said, you're getting Kyrie back with LeBron. If AD can stay healthy, they are going to be the best team in the league. I mean, that is a crazy big three. Even though they won the championship, Kyrie and LeBron several years ago, they're still phenomenal basketball players. And we've already seen Kyrie and LeBron be enough as it is. So if you throw Anthony Davis in that loop, oh my goodness gracious. And if you can just properly fill out the rest of that roster, Kendrick Nunn, Malik Monk, those are two young players I would love to keep on that squad. I would definitely ship Talon and a first off, or maybe even a guy like, Buddy Hield. Just continue to fill out the gaps in your roster. Try and get a big body center, like a guy like JaVale McGee. Dwight Howard is cool, but I think a guy like JaVale McGee is going to suit him a lot better. Keep Melo. Hopefully retain Melo. I know finances are an issue for the Lakers, so I'm trying to make it all kind of make sense in my head. But definitely try and keep Melo. Try and keep young players who have experience. Guys like Malik Monk. Look for him in free agency. And, guys like JTA on the Warriors. Players like that. Players where, because with LeBron, you don't want young guys like Talon who, Talon technically has championship finals, or I should say experience on a championship team. But at the same time, I mean, given everything he can't do, like shoot, I don't think it's really worth having such a young player. So that's why LeBron targeted more guys like, Trevor Ariza, Kent Bazemore, Wayne Ellington, Avery Bradley, guys you can rely on. But what ended up happening is these guys not only are old and just not serviceable, like I said, moderation, 2 or 3 of them max. Wayne Ellington, Avery Bradley, cut it off right there. There's no reason really for Ariza, Bazemore, DJ, all these old heads. So you're going to have to fill it out to get a little bit more on the younger side. So that's why I'm looking at guys like JTA, players who have been in the league, they're in their prime, and they're just solid, sturdy role players. So that's it for today. Just kind of a little open dialogue on the Lakers-Nets possible trade. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section, and I'll see you guys. Started this daily live NBA show. We're going to have some sweet people on it. It's live every morning on YouTube at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be on streaming platforms afterwards. Great things coming. The link's going to be in the bio. It's going to be in the comment section of all of my videos. So I hope to see you guys there.